Hi, Dr. Michael Corsellos here. Today I want to talk about introverts and extroverts and how it can affect your health. I take this topic near and dear to my heart because I myself I'm an introvert. So definition of introvert is actually it's part of your personality. It doesn't mean yet you're shy. Yeah, it might be part of it, but your personality has to do with introversion versus extroversion. I don't know if you ever heard of the Myers-Briggs test. You should look it up online. That really talks about how our personality and how that's just who you are as a being, and it tends to be pretty consistent throughout your life. There are things that can affect you being an introvert versus an extrovert. Is it something that you're born with? Is there like a confidence gene, an introvert gene? Maybe. My kids are kind of mimic a little bit of me, a little bit of my wife as well. Is it something in the environment that influences us? Possibly. Now, with our environment, our society is more of an extroverted society, meaning you get rewarded if you're an extrovert. And a great example is our workplace. You know, a lot of times we have an open workspace where we have to work in groups. They actually encourage us to think out loud, think with the group, come up with a lot of ideas, and even at school. Put all your desks together and let's come up with a program or do some homework and let's do a presentation in a group. And keep in mind, number one fear of most people is public speaking. So really at heart, a lot of us are introverted. Now remember, the key that I want to talk about is how being introverted affects people's health, or even extroverted. When you're an introvert living in an extroverted society, keep in mind that introverts, we like to energize by ourselves, not in a big group. If I'm by myself, I can do my best thinking. I energize in solitude. If I'm an extrovert, I think out loud all the time, and actually think better thinking out loud. I think better in a big group. Introverts, we like to really think things through. We want to analyze the situation and then come up with a plan. But again, a lot of our environment, that our jobs and our work demand us to kind of be more of an extrovert type of personality. So as an introvert, that can be a little bit stressful, of course. Now, I want people to realize that there are successful introverts out there. So again, you got to realize introverts it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Rosa Parks is an introvert. She's known as being an introvert. Bill Gates was known as being an introvert. Albert Einstein as well. So again, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person if you're introverted. It's just our society and our jobs demand it. So when we're forced to be in a situation where we're not comfortable, of course that's going to stress you out. So I do have a lot of patients where they come to me, I am fatigued, I'm anxious, let's do some tests. I ran some lab work, do some various tests, everything's normal, and they just say, okay, I got anxiety, or I'm depressed. Do I go on a medication? Maybe. Do I go on a supplement? Maybe. Lifestyle changes? Yeah. All that. You might need all three of those things. But what I want people to realize that you got to realize being an introvert, sometimes you have to let your coworkers, classmates know that's your personality, that's how things are going to go down. For example, you might need to tell your boss or your coworker, this is part of my personality, I need to think things through. Give me a day, give me an hour, let me work on this project, and I'm going to present it to the group. So if you let people know that's part of your personality, this is part of the reason why a lot of jobs nowadays, they'll have you do a Myers-Briggs personality test before they hire you. They want to see what your personality is like. And once people realize that, they're like, oh, okay, this is why that person acts that way. They might be more extroverted, they might be more introverted. Let's try to nurture their personality so they work the best with us. And another thing is, you got to realize practice makes perfect. It is an extroverted society, so if you practice speaking out loud, me talking in front of a video camera is stressful, but I do it more often, I get more comfortable. Practice really makes perfect, and if you do it more often, it's become more of a habit, and it becomes second nature, hopefully. You got to get a habit of doing it more often. Last thing is, some people need a prescription, a supplement. Go for it. Ask your provider about that, and that can help calm things down. When you combine that with practice, that's really going to help out. And then the last thing is just remember, being introverted is not a disease. It's not a negative thing. You just gotta let people know. You gotta accept it and embrace it. So I always tell people, be proud of who you are personality-wise. So I would say, introverts unite, but we really can't unite. We'll unite separately. I hope this helps. Please let me know if there's any questions. You can feel free to email me on this blog post for any kind of questions. All right, thanks.